Good afternoon. Fade to Black breaking news for this Thursday, April 20th, 2023. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Happy 420 day, everybody. Let's get straight to it. On this day in history, 1978, Soviet aircraft force a Korean Airlines passenger jet to land in the Soviet Union after the jet veers into Russian airspace. 2 people were killed and several others injured when the jet made a rough landing on a frozen lake about 300 miles south of Murmansk on this day in 1978. Let's get to your fader fact. In 1969, Jim Sullivan recorded an album. It was called UFO, which featured lyrics about being abducted by aliens. Sullivan disappeared 6 years later without a trace, the only piece of evidence being his abandoned car found on a desert road. And that is your fader fact. Let's get to the breaking news. SpaceX, the most powerful rocket ever built, put on quite a show during its debut launch earlier today. The first ever integrated Starship rocket soared toward space from SpaceX's Seaside Starbase facility at Boca Chica Beach in South Texas Gulf Coast at 9:33 a.m. Eastern Time. The 390-foot-tall Starship, the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built, rose off Starbase's orbital launch mount by its 33 first-stage Raptor engines. The climb didn't last long, however. The 165-foot-tall Starship upper stage was supposed to separate from the Super Heavy first stage about 3 minutes after liftoff, but that never happened. The 2 vehicles remained connected, and the stack began to tumble, ultimately exploding. Or, as SpaceX called it, it experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. As that was 4 minutes into launch. Yeah, bad humor. But that's SpaceX, not me. The giant vehicle reached a maximum altitude of about 24 miles, according to the data on SpaceX's launch webcast. NASA has denied claims made by Kiev's city authorities that a mysterious, dazzling flash of light above Ukraine's capital was caused by one of its defunct satellites tumbling back to Earth. The bright flash, which was seen over the city at around 10 p.m. local time, prompted the city's authorities to turn on the air raid alerts. City data citing early data, Serhiy Popko, the head of the city's military administration, said on Telegram that the phenomenon was the result of a NASA space satellite falling to Earth. And that's a quote. But NASA later refuted all of this, saying that the time the flash occurred, its satellite, the dead 600-pound Ressi satellite, was still in orbit. The mysterious flash above Kiev has filled Ukrainian social media with popular memes and conspiracy theories, many speculating that aliens aboard UFOs were the cause of the light in the sky. Yeah. Netflix, are you ready? They're about to crack down on password sharing among its U.S. subscribers, and they say it's all coming to an end in June, modestly delaying a plan that had caused consternation among many subscribers of the streaming service. In its quarterly earnings report yesterday, Netflix said it would launch a paid password sharing program globally in the second quarter of the year, including in the U.S. Now, also, this is like around the world in other countries as well. The company had earlier said it planned to introduce it by the end of March. So there it is. Want to share your Netflix password? Well, you can, but now you got to pay for it. All right. It's 420. For decades, weed smokers across the United States have celebrated and rolled up on April 20th, also known as 420 Weed Day. But what does April 20th or the numbers 420 have to do with marijuana? The Mary Jane, weed, pot, right? There are more than a few theories, and one of the biggest is that 420 was the police code for weed, though that theory has never been substantiated. It was also said to have been the penal code in California for marijuana possession. No, it wasn't that either. There's also a Bob Dylan theory. The song title, Rainy Day Woman, 12, number 12 and 35, because 12 multiplied by 35 is 420. In addition to the lyric, everybody must get stoned. But no, it wasn't that either. So, still, decades later, nobody seems to be 100% sure how April 20th became Weed Day. But the most credible theory is mine. It goes back to the 1970s in California. Yeah. April 20th started with 5 teenagers at San Rafael High School, right? Who would meet daily at 4:20 p.m. near the campus statue of Louis Pasteur, and they would smoke weed. The students, Steve Capper, Jeffrey Noel, Dave Reddix, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Gravich, became known around the high school as the Waldos because they met along a wall near the statue, using the code 420 to say it was time to smoke some weed. One of the 5, Dave Reddix, got a job as a roadie for the Grateful Dead, who printed flyers in 1990 for the Deadheads. That's right. For all of them to light up on April 20th at 4:20 p.m. So there you have it. Happy 420 Day, everybody. That's all of your Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Thursday, April 20th, 2023. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, and Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Newman. And I'm going to leave that with Go Back Lee Tappy.